Part 4 of the Catalaunian fields, part 4 of this killing machine that we are on right now. You know who's going to be it this time in our game of tag, in our game of killing? No, the Visigoths are gone. I know, you may be sad about that. It's going to be the Allens. And to do so, when you guys were gone, off screen as you would call it, I built up a Cannon Galleon force, 5 Cannon Galleons. Somehow the Huns have this ability, and their research quarry or whatever you would call it, and we are able to produce Cannon Galleons. So we're going to use those. You want to make 2 transport ships. Make sure you get careening and dry dock to enable your transport ships to carry the amount of units that you're going to need, which probably is around, I would say, 30 something. You need about 10 villagers, 12 petards. Now that's a lot of petards. About 10 petards, couple trebuchets if you'd like, and maybe some and definitely some cavalry archer. You need some where are you going? I mean, like, there's nowhere to go. You can go back there right now. There we go. Let's go back to our pond over here. All right, so we're gonna put them in no attack stance. We don't want to make any disturbance in this water. And doesn't this water just look good? I mean, for a game that's made in around 1999, it just looks great. I gotta say, they did a great job making visual effects, and the ambience outside is wonderful, especially with this music. So, we're not gonna have to worry about the Visigoths anymore. The Western Roman Empire is just gonna be our only enemy soon, and we have timed this perfectly. The Allens have met their trigger number of units that they have to meet in order to begin sending another assault. So they're gonna have no units in their base. Except for a couple cavalry archers, because they have access to a little stone mining camp down in the southwest corner. They're going to have a little bit of an influx of gold still, so they're going to be able to make some of their cavalry archers and crossbowmen. But if you know and you're accustomed to what's going on in this scenario, don't do that. Bad CG. No. We're not attacking castle yet. So what you want to do with these villagers is make sure you get treadmill crane. Now is a good time to get treadmill crane, just because you need to build a building a lot quicker than you have previously. So I'm gonna get treadmill crane. Or did I already get? I must have already gotten treadmill crane. That's strange. Whoa. Oh yeah, that's the Allens. See, the Allens are just a joke. Like, really? They bring a couple battering rams, but they're never along in unison with their cavalry archers and with their crossbowmen. Freaking joke. I mean, I'm gonna go in there. I could send a couple men-at-arms in there, and they're done. So, I apparently already had treadmill crane, and I need to sell some to get some stone here. That was a big mistake on my part, big oversight. So go down here, plop down a castle, like so. Build this castle up, and once this castle's built, we're gonna get this guy built here in a second. We'll start attacking that lumber camp, and it'll draw whatever units they have in their base towards your castle. That castle will just eat alive their units. It'll free up all that base, and it will belong to us, basically. You're just gonna have to scout out some of their villagers. Make sure you're watching the northwest side of their northeast side of their base. You don't want them seeping into the Western Roman Empire. No cyan, no mix with blue. Don't allow that to happen. Now you can use your Cannon Galleons to take out that castle, and that will free up everything in their base for you to just raiding party with your cavalry archers, heavy cavalry archers. See what they go with? They go with the Cavalry Archer. Sorry, that doesn't pull it off against the Huns, who have mastered the art of raiding and cavalry. Doesn't work. Goodbye. See you later. Thanks for playing. Okay, so once this castle's gone, you want to use the petards that you have, and you can take out the town center. Obviously, they're not bursting with units anymore. Crossbowmen or cavalry archers, they shouldn't produce too many more. And look at that long swordsman, MVP of the Ostrogoths. Haven't done much to help me out. Definitely doing some to help me out there. Well, I'm not focused on my own base. They're doing work. I still have some more petards located in here. You can definitely bring these cavalry archers out and just scout out. Make sure they're not building any more town centers. Guys that like to sneak through. build a town center, build a castle. I don't know, build a archery range if they really need to build one, as that's their only unit producing structure. What happened to the Viking love? What happened to the longboat love, or the longship love, or whatever? I'm sure that those guys would be very effective in this river-strewn map that we have running through the area. I mean, I don't know why you're not pulling that one out of the bag. That would be a big help to you, but instead you simplify it for me and just have me focus on the archery range, which is a joke. If that's your only unit producing structure, then get some creativity. Get some creativity. Alright, so those guys, it feels good to knock those guys down. Of course, the Allens are still going to be resisting us as much as they can, but they really can't do that much. Oh, battering ram, I see what you're doing. I see what you're trying to pull off here. Well, I got some Cannon Galleons, short-range Cannon Galleons. They got accuracy. And look at that Scout Cavalry. He's there. Frankish Scout Cavalry. That's a sight. And you're worthless, just to let you know. But I guess GI Gen T, or I'm not 100% sure on how you want it to be pronounced. You brought up a good point about how Scout Cavalry, like usual, you brought up a good point about how Scout Cavalry eventually turn into the unit I love, and the unit all of you should love, the Hussar. The Hussar is a great... Oh my goodness. Well, that is a very concerning sight right there. 2 battering rams putting flame edge on my castle. But the Scout Cavalry eventually turn into the unit I love, and you should love, the Hussar. So I said to him, good point, and you know, I thought it would kind of parallel the Pokemon. I mean, everybody loves Pokemon. Everybody has some familiarity with it. It is like the Magikarp that turns into the Gyarados. I mean, everybody hates the Magikarp. What is that, Fisherman? I forgot on the route south of Violet City has 6 Magikarp. I mean, I'm ready to shoot my I'm ready to fire my Game Boy into the ground right there and get that thing out of my sight, because those Magikarps will sicken you and cause your patience to go down the tube. But because of what they become later on, the Scout Cavalry does have some purpose, and that's about it though. I do agree with him. He said that their range is great, allows you to see things that you may not otherwise be able to see. That's if you're very tactical with them. And it is true that they can do those things, but it's difficult to execute on. Alright, so we can use these Cavalry Archers, pick out whatever unit's coming towards us. Western Roman Empire. We're probably going to leave, though, because that is the Hun way. Attack and ditch. That's it. That's how you do it. Alright, forget about that lumber camp. So all that remains between us and the fall of Rome, between Honoria, maybe, I kind of doubt it, is the Western Roman Empire and their base. They have 4 castles up there, but I tell you, their resources are dwindling. If you've noticed, throughout this scenario, their number of units that come and assault you slowly diminishes. You know why? There's no more resources on the map. You know why? There is no relic on this map. You do not have to worry about the Orleans threat of a relic producing 30,000 gold against you in a scenario. Sorry for the music cutting out. I know it's kind of frustrating. It's frustrating for me, especially when I'm just playing leisurely too. It's like the ambience of the music really livens up the game. I remember before I played on my laptop and used my headphones, I would always have my music on. I wouldn't use headphones like on I would play on my family computer. How that music would they thought the music was good, and they're not even video game fans, the rest of my family. So I'm like, hey, maybe there is something special. And there is something special. So if you don't enjoy this music, this soothing music, something is wrong with you and your music taste in video games. Because that is just such a sometimes underrated part of video games. So we can leave that castle there where it is. The nice thing about that castle is that it can pick off some of the units, minus the siege units, maybe the scorpions that come towards you. They like to take the southern route, even though sometimes that northern route is one they usually like to take more. I don't know if it depends on what order you get the stone walls up in. I believe I touched on that in the first part. But that castle can take down some units besides the siege weapons, major siege weapons like trebuchets for you. But we won't really have to worry about that because their resources are gone. We've starved them to death. There's no more gold on the map other than a small patch, and I'm going to be exploiting that here in a second. Because I got trade carts, I can just trade with whatever market I'd want to at this point. Not have to worry about getting assaulted because the Visigoths and the Alans are gone. We're all set. We're all good. And that, where are you going? I mean, you can go to the edge of the world, I guess, but the corner of the map, I mean, that must really suck. You got to kill every enemy and complete every objective to even see another part of the world. If you're in this game, you're stuck in this world of the game. You can't do anything. You're totally inhibited by this black wall that I don't even know how it got there. Honestly, it just keeps on stretching, and you know, we're gonna question that for another day. And I'm gonna probably kill these Cannon Galleons here in a second. Once I unload this transport ship, I'm gonna get rid of it too. Those Cavalry Archers are safe and sound in our castle. And for the next assault, which is on the Western Roman Empire, it's going to be pretty similar, but a small variation. Obviously, no Cannon Galleons because we're not in range to use Cannon Galleons. No river goes up by the Western Roman Empire over there. We're going to use petards, we're going to use trebuchets, and we're going to use a mix of Cavalry Archers and Tarkans. Essentially, we're just going to make sure that we take out all their castles first and their guard towers. I believe they have 4 castles and a bevy of guard towers. Obviously, going to get rid of those. Once we do, their base is really easily dispatched. They only have a couple trebuchets left. They have no resources to use to build up their they have a very costly army. One thing that's noticeable about the Western Roman Empire and any Byzantine enemy that you'll have in any single player campaign is that they oftentimes produce armies or assault forces have champions that have paladins, that have cataphracts, that have trebuchets, petards. Those are pretty expensive. Especially the upgrades, obviously, those are pretty expensive. But in general, they're very expensive. And if you are able to utilize the starvation technique, you will be set to go, and you will easily, wait it out in your base, hole up in your base, get plenty of that stone. You know how to do it. I'm showing you right now. And you'll starve them to death. Did that with the Mets. Orleans, unfortunately, did not. You know why? You know why I did that? Because they had relics. Relics suck. But we don't have to worry about them in the fall of Rome either. Another scenario that we kind of do have to worry about is the Blood Right, I believe it's called. First scenario in the Aztec campaign, Montezuma. And the first scenario in the El Cid campaign. And the second scenario in the El Cid campaign. We have access to relics at least. And our enemies have relics. Not a good thing, not a bad thing. So I'm going to build that mining camp over by that gold field over there that Allen's was slowly chipping away from. And maybe the Franks were at some point because it looks like their major base was right there. The Franks were everywhere, I'm telling you though. A lot of farms, a lot of houses, a lot of mills. Maybe a mining camp or two, lumber camp, trade workshop. Gotta love the trade workshop. But they were everywhere. So not much else going on in this scenario, or this video, excuse me. I'm always mixing those two up. We're just going to peekaboo at what their base looks like. And obviously, there's no more gold. You got food and wood, but no mineral. And you're not going to get very far in the world of Age of Empires without having food and gold right at your fingertips at all times. And I wish I could use that stone. They should make something useful out of that stone. Those stone piles are just randomly thrown onto the map. They got that in the Great Ride. They got that now. I mean, initially, they got that in the Siege of Jerusalem. I mean, initially, I was like, stone. The first time I ever played, I was like, I must get that stone. That's how they have 2 castles. Well, you can't use that stone. Then what's the point? Is it just tantalizing? Like, what are you trying to do? You might as well make it shiny while you're at it. Alright, so check out all these farms. Look at that expanse of farms. That would be nice to use, but we're not going to venture too far over there right now. Not that we feel threatened by the Western Roman Empire. It's because we have more than enough wood and food to support our cause. Once you're ready, I'm just gonna change these trade cards. I'm gonna check out how much gold payoff I get from the Visigoths market. Not that it makes a huge difference. And I might completely take out the Alans and the Visigoths while your guys are off screen, just for the heck of it, just because I want to have fun. Just because I want to have fun and feel like I've really conquered. And one thing I wanted to bring out. This is called the Conquerors expansion, the Conquerors campaigns, whatever. So if you take that into account, the last one was the Age of Kings. If this is the Conquerors, every scenario that you're going to be faced with involves like utterly destroying an enemy. None of it's like sneaking an emperor in a barrel all the way down to the southern edge of the map, sneaking Joan of Arc to the Chateau of Chinon. It's none of that. In this, you are conquering. You are killing your enemy. Whatever enemy's on the map, you destroy. Maybe there's some side objectives thrown in there, but you're destroying every enemy. That's why it's the Conquerors campaign. You're not going to get shorter scenarios. This is why these scenarios are easier sometimes, but they take longer, because you're going to have to utterly wipe out your enemies on the map and hence conquer. So I just wanted to bring that out and lighten that, shed some light on that for you guys. Make you, I don't know, maybe that passed you by. You never really thought that direction, thinking about the game and thinking logically of what it was going to mean. And I was going to produce some halberdiers, but I'll let that go for right now. I was playing the Fall of Rome today, and I was watching those halberdiers go down once they get shot by the castle. That is hilarious. It looks like there's like a tripwire in front of them. They trip, fall on their face, and then obviously they're dead. When they get hit and they die, it's like a tripwire has totally humiliated them in front of every one of their enemies. I love it. I love how they fall. Crossbowman's pretty cool too. Does a crazy Hollywood got shot in the stomach, I'm gonna fly backwards move out of the window. I mean, if there was a window behind them, they would shatter it. It would look pretty cool. The Saloon Cowboy falling over the balcony. That's definitely what it looks like. Man, how do they make those balconies so loose? I mean, like, you fall into one slightly, you bump into it, it just breaks away. I'm not even kidding you. Those are like papier-mâché balconies that they have in those old westerns. They need to do something about that. That's not good. Balconies are important. You can't overrate a balcony. That protects people. I'm not going to bring it up. There's been some tragedies at the Texas Rangers ballpark. I'm not going to bring that up right now, but it has to do with poor balcony construction. So, whatever. Too serious of a topic for a walkthrough. So now that we have these trade carts all gathered around the market, we're going to give them a slight rest, and we're going to send them down to the other market, which is the Visigoths market. And I'm going to make some paladins to go along with this attack force. I'm going to have 6 trebuchets, 7 trebuchets will be plenty. Primarily, you want to focus on siege units, just because your only direct enemy other than towers is 3 trebuchets that the Western Roman Empire has. That's all they have left. No cataphracts, no champions to worry about. So we're just going to breeze right through the Western Roman Empire, and before you know it, this went very smoothly. The Visigoths assault really started it off for us, and so did the Alans assault. And when we look, I was playing the Fall of Rome. That shouldn't be too bad either. I mean, if you're quick at the beginning and you're able to get up a wall in one spot and assault Aquilia's attack force in another spot, you can pretty easily take out what remains of the Wonders. And once the Wonders are gone, you can have that mission in the bag. It's just a matter of starvation once again, which is difficult to do, which takes patience, but it's very viable. And, I mean, are you playing pin the tail on the donkey right there, Petard? Like, I don't know what you're doing. I mean, you can do something productive and not just scout around the map. Ready to... Alright, well, let's bring in the 5 knights. That'll do the trick against a castle and a guard tower. Way to go. 5 knights. Is that a joke, Ostrogoths? I mean, I don't know if you're just trying to send your units to the death. Get some room in your cities. I don't know, but you're the Goths. You don't use walls. You don't have lack of space. There is real bounding right now. And I gave you an opportunity to be on the winning side. So this is it for the 4th part of the Catalaunian Fields. Hope you enjoyed taking down the Alans. What a dumb name. Sorry they didn't use Vikings.